Breaking news coming in here on top of the newsroom as India gives it back to Pakistan. Pakistan, remember, continues to violate the ceasefire. The army has confirmed that heavy damage has now been caused to some Pakistani posts. Exchange of fire continues. One jawan is in a critical condition in the Naushera sector. What's exactly happening right now? Let's go across to Pradeep, who joins us on the phone for more details. Yes, Pradeep.
You rightly said there seems to be no respite in shelling from Pakistan side. Today, within 8 hours, they violated ceasefire in two sectors, Naushera as well as Krishnaghati sector. Another brave heart sacrificed his life while defending the borders of the country in Naushera sector when he was hit by a shell from across the border. Right now, the heavy shelling is continuing in Naushera as well as Krishnaghati sector, and Indian troops too are responding and retaliating with strong firepower. Many of the Pakistani posts have been damaged in the counter-offensive that has been launched by the Indian troops, both in Naushera as well as Krishnaghati sector. Earlier today morning, it was at about 9 when this violated ceasefire in Naushera sector. Since then, they had been targeting several border outposts, and even the civilian areas have not been spared. And later on, at about 1:45, they opened the mouths of their guns in Krishnaghati sector. The exchange of firing both the sectors is continuing. One soldier has been martyred. So far, since surgical strike, he is the 7th soldier that has lost his life while defending borders of the country. And heavy exchange of gunfire is continuing. What we came to know from the army sources is that effectively they are countering Pakistan's offensive, and in an aggressive offensive launched by the Indian troops, several of the Pakistani posts, both in Naushera as well as in Krishnaghati sector, have been damaged. During the last few days, we have seen that Indian troops are effectively responding, trying to ensure that all those notorious posts that have been targeting Indian civilian areas as well as border outposts are damaged and destroyed and decimated. That is actually the priority of the troops, because they have not only reacting to what actually is happening on the border, but they are trying to give a punitive response so that they can destroy those posts only to silence Pakistani guns in these areas.
Well, Pradeep, stay on with us. In fact, let's just play out the report that you filed just a couple of minutes back.
There seems to be fighting from Pakistan's side. Today also they have violated ceasefire in two sectors. We are joined by Colonel Manish Mehta, PRO Defense. Sir, can you give us a detail of recent ceasefire violation and what exactly is happening in that sector?
Unprovoked ceasefire violation has been carried out by Pakistan in two places, the Naushera sector and the KG sector. In the Naushera sector, we have lost one of our brave hearts, a brave soldier of ours, and we are giving a befitting reply to the Pakistani army, and we are trying to give them where it hurts them the most.
Any of the Pakistani army posts also damaged in counter-offensive launched by the Indian army?
Yes, effective punishment has been meted out to the Pakistan army posts, both the Naushera sector and the KG sector by us.
What kind of weaponry is being used by the Pakistan army, and how you are responding to their firepower?
The Pakistan army is using heavy mortars, that is 120 mm motors and automatics, and we are also appropriately responding in the caliber and the system that we find it befitting.
What you see is the reason, because Naushera had been all of a sudden become very hot, volatile and vulnerable sector. What is the reason for that? Why they are targeting often on this Naushera sector? Has this anything to do with the surgical strike? Because one of the surgical strike was carried out from this particular area.
Naushera sector is not a vulnerable sector, firstly. And we are hitting them hard over there. And we are hitting them hard wherever they are trying to carry out an unprovoked ceasefire violation. So there is no such thing that Naushera has come into prominence. But we are hitting them hard as and when wherever they are trying to open up.
You think the reason is that desperation, that Pakistan seems to be rattled, because ever since there have been surgical strike, we have seen that this is the 105th ceasefire violation since then?
Yes, Pakistan army seems to be rattled and they seem to be very desperate. That seems to be their position.
See, we have been talking to the PRO Defense. One more jawan has been martyred while defending the borders of the country in Naushera sector. The shelling from Pakistan side is continuing, and he said that several of the Pakistani posts have been damaged in counter-offensive launched by Indian troops. Pradeep Datta with Amit Bhardwaj for Times Now.
Well, thanks for bringing us that report, Pradeep. They're confirming that heavy damage has been caused to Pakistani posts. As exchange of fire continues, we will continue to bring you more updates.